Well, Immortals of Aveum is the next game that the anti-gamer propagandists want to push on you and shame you for not buying. That's right, the first thing we're going to look at is a tweet from PC Gamer referencing their article, and it says, EA reportedly invested $125 million making a new single-player IP with 0 microtransactions, no grind, a shorter running time, and guess what? No one bought it. In this beautiful take from our anti-gamer propagandist friends at Craptaku, Immortals of Aveum proves it's a grim time for single-player games. And I love how they got community noted on X, formerly Twitter, where the community points out that single-player games are doing just fine. So why is it that anti-gamer propagandist outlets like PC Gamer and Craptaku are pushing Immortals of Aveum on you and shaming you for not buying it? Well, my friends, it should be no surprise. We go right back to ESG and DEI. And who's responsible for this? I have a feeling it's our old friends at Sweet Baby Stink. I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and let's roll the intro.
What do you think, I'm an idiot or something?
I was thrilled to see that Immortals of Aveum actually had a demo that you can download for free on Steam, and I did just that. I played through quite a bit of it until I got so bored of this mediocre trudge fest that I just had to give up. It started out with the game needing to optimize. In fact, it needed to optimize every single time I launched it, whether I changed anything or not. It then tried to log on to EA servers and failed, giving me the option to retry, and no matter how many times I retried, it continuously failed, so that's not a good sign. And then, before I can even get to the main menu, what do I see but a nag screen asking me to buy the game, with buying the game being the default option if you just happen to be hammering the escape or enter key to try to get through the menus. This game also commits the ultimate sin of sins for a video game, and it has my worst nemesis, my worst enemy in the whole world. That which I hate more than anything else, that which I have a seething, vitriolic, passionate disgust for. Unskippable cutscenes. Let me tell you something about unskippable cutscenes, my friends. Unskippable cutscenes can burn in hell. So I'm playing around with the graphics settings, and I'm actually surprised to find that it gives you a rough estimate of how much of your graphics card's power it's going to take up. So if you can see that an option is only like 10 or 20, not a big deal. But if an option's like 120 or 200, well, pay more attention to that one. So you can take it from ultra, sometimes, to high, and then from high we go to medium? No, we go from high to low. There's no medium. Why is there no medium? High, low. I feel like there should be something in the middle. There should be something between high and low that's in nearly every single modern 3D gaming title. And I think that something is generally called medium. So I adjust the settings, relaunch the game as it asked me to do, and it once again has to optimize. It then fails to connect to the EA servers, where I repeatedly spam retry, even though I actually don't want to connect to the servers, but I'm like, hey, let me see if it'll work, and it didn't. It didn't. It then goes again to the nag screen asking me to buy the game before I've even had a chance to play it. So I get started, and of course I have this horrible experience of mashing the escape button, hitting the space bar, hitting the enter key, tapping the mouse, hitting control, hitting E, hitting F, hitting every button I can think of on the mouse and the keyboard keys, actually. And you know what I find? Unskippable cutscenes. I know I've mentioned it, but this is just awful. Why are we still dealing with this? It's current year, and we're still dealing with unskippable cutscenes? Unforgivable. So once I finally get the ability to control the main character of the game, I'm wandering around, and what do I see? A bunch of dead-eyed marionette-like characters who barely even fit the bill of looking human. Looking into the eyes of these characters is actually legitimately creepy. It gives me shivers down my spine. Not really, but I had to say something to emphasize just how terrible the look in their eyes is. It's just completely deadpan look in their eyes. There's nothing there. You know for absolute certain there's no chance that this thing is going to act even remotely realistic. The uncanny valley effect here is dreadful, and deeply disturbing. In fact, I've noticed they all pretty much look like drug addicts in a coked up stupor. And on top of that, if you haven't noticed already, is that the effects of DEI/ESG, and if you don't know what those are, DEI stands for diversity, which is just anti-white, anti-male, anti-hetero, equity, and inclusion. And ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance, which is just another name for essentially the same thing. So this ESG and DEI crap, probably from Sweet Baby Stink, which we've talked about them before, for is apparent here in the design of the characters, because they all look like these weird mixed sort of brownish colored people where you can't tell exactly what they're supposed to be. And on top of that, in typical DEI/ESG fashion, they're pretty much all ugly. I mean, look at these guys. The hairstyles are ugly, this modern sort of SJW style. Man, I haven't said SJW in a while. I want to bring that term back. We're going to keep using SJW. Unironically, today's drink of choice is just like an electrolyte powder mixed in water with some ice. So let's give it a sip. Wow, that tastes the same that it's tasted for the past like 5 years that I've been using it. No difference at all. So I go from character to character, just noticing how absolutely ugly they all are, how they all have terrible hairstyles, how none of it seems to match. They all look like they got the worst end of all the genes they inherited from their mothers and fathers. And what do I also notice? Some of them are standing there, acting as if they're talking to someone, mouthing words, but making no noise, not actually saying anything, mouthing as if they're talking, moving their hands, but there's no one nearby and they're not saying a word. There's no one around them. They're just standing there mouthing as if talking to somebody. So again, it's like they're in this sort of coked up, methed out stupor. Even when the characters are supposed to be doing something innocuous like smoking a cigarette, they still look completely dead. It's like they're dead people being animated by some foreign force. And not surprisingly, virtually none of the characters are white. Now, granted, you may be saying, wait a minute, Fox of RealMarcFoxx. The main character, Jack, J-A-K, is white. So, hey, there you go. That's the primary character. That's the character you play as. He appears in the cutscenes. Even though you don't see him while you're playing in this first-person shooter-esque magic-based game, you are still a white male. And although that's true, that's because they know that the primary demographic purchasing this game, or supposedly would have purchased this game, would have been white males. And also, they didn't want to make the main character just ugly and disgusting and deadpan to like all the others. So once again, just like in Starfield from a different developer, which is Bethesda under ZeniMax, what you have here is another game world where white people appear to be going extinct. When white people are only about 8% of the global population as it is, the last thing we need is to be taking more of them out of media. Now, it was at this point that I noticed that despite having lowered many of the settings to low, my Core i7 RTX 3080 system could barely pump out 60 frames per second some of the time. I'm dropping down into the 40s on this thing, and I've lowered most of the settings that make any difference. The performance of this game is abysmal. It's terrible. It is so poorly optimized, it is not even ready for the beta yet. And of course, how do we start out the game? After the unskippable cutscene is an unskippable, boring walk and talk, where all you do is just walk behind a character where the character says very uninteresting crap, and all you can do is just walk around. And if you veer too far away from the character, you get that endless stream of, hey, over here, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. Hey, this way, come over here. Where are you going? Hurry up, come on. This is boring. I hate walk and talks. I hate walk and talks almost as much as I hate unskippable cutscenes. Walk and talks are just another one of those sins of game development. And of course, at this point, who are you following? It's Luna. That's right, a female black character with that usual horrible, awful looking shaved one side of the head, giant sort of fluff hair hanging over the other side of the head. It looks awful. I don't know why anybody would go with that hairstyle. It looks so uneven. There's no symmetry there. It's a terrible hairstyle. If you like it, if you're doing it, hey, you know what? You do your thing. I can't control your hairstyle. If you don't care about my opinion of your hair, then don't care about my opinion of your hair. But I think this hairstyle looks awful. So the question is, why would they put this hairstyle on Luna to begin this game out? Well, I did notice something. If you take a look here, you'll see Kim Belair, who is one of the co-founders of Sweet Baby Stink, which is a video game consultation company that works with a lot of developers to inject DEI/ESG nonsense into games. They are responsible for why a lot of games nowadays suck or have garbage in it that you don't want. They're responsible for a lot of this LGBTQIAP++ garbage propaganda that you see in video games. Now, there's Kim Belair, and oh, would you look at that? here's Luna. It's almost as if Kim Belair put herself in the game as Luna, except she wasn't satisfied with her darker brownish eyes. She decided, hey, let's go with blue. Let's think about this. Who has blue eyes? What race of people have blue eyes? Anyway, so I noticed that when I could finally use my magical powers, I decided it was time to blast some harmless NPCs just to see what would happen. And you know what happened? Well, it didn't harm them, but this happened. Wow, I gotta say, that's actually an improvement on her looks. So if you want to make the NPCs look better, you can just blast them in the face. But for some odd reason, they decided you can't blast kids in the face or anywhere else. Your shots actually just go right through them. So the question remains, so why allow this sort of magical burn effect to appear on friendly NPCs, but not friendly NPC children? Strange choice. Strange choice. And when I finally got to this cutscene, I found something that was quite ironic.
We're officially the worst street thieves in Saren. Hopefully Caleb redeems us.
I guess Kim Belair and her cohorts over there at Sweet Baby Stink didn't realize that making Luna a thief is just full of a lot of irony. I'm sorry. I'm literally laughing as I'm saying that. I hope you can tell this is a real laugh, because making the female black character, the primary female black character initially, making her a thief, they don't think about this stuff, okay? They apparently didn't think ahead here. The irony, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. And speaking of Luna, being a black female, she is portrayed as witty, competent, supposed to be funny, but not, smart, quick-witted, and of course, a little sassy. You just gotta have that black female sass in there. You'll notice that everyone around her act like sycophants. They all simp for her attention and approval because she's just the smartest one. So you're just sitting there as the player thinking, oh my gosh, I just wish so much that Luna would notice me. I find Luna to just be, she's so smart, she's so intelligent, she's so beautiful. I love her hair. She's just so tough and strong and quick-witted. I wish I could be like her. If only I could be like Luna. Luna is my hero, is essentially the impression I get from most of the characters in this game. They're all fawning over her practically, and this unknown person decides to show up and be like, hey, it's your birthday, here's a gift. And you know what? I'm dying to give you this gift. Literally got shot by some of the guards for stealing this gift for Luna. Luna is so important, he risked his life to get her this trinket. Absolutely shocked. I can't believe they made the female black character the super smart, quick-witted, intelligent, funny, interesting, blah, blah, blah. And on top of all that, she often implies or outright calls the others idiots.
I don't know. If it's not about killing 100 regularly dispositioned crabs, I don't want any part of it.
Idiot.
So the assumption, of course, is that everyone else is stupid and they need to follow her lead if they want to be intelligent like her. But I can hear some people out there right now saying, actually, Fox, I think what it is you're just intimidated by a strong, independent woman.
How dare you?
So you have to muddle through this long, intensely boring intro, this painful walk and talk, these obvious, transparent tutorial segments that are not interesting in any way, shape, or form. And through all of this, you are given no reason whatsoever to care about any of these characters because they all come off as quite unlikable. The main character, Jack, the white male that you play, comes off as a bit of a dunce who needs to learn about life and how things work and how to do anything because he's just an idiot.
Idiot.
We're just very fortunate that the black woman is there to teach him how to be a strong, independent person. Hey, did I mention the atrociously bad performance of this game? Because it's constantly dipping into the 40s, dipping into the lower 40s. I have a good, powerful system. I have not had a game drag my frame rate down this low in a long time. So after the town where the main character Jack lives gets attacked by some opposing force, I decided to take a look at some of the NPCs and, well, not surprisingly, a lot of them seemed not to care about what was going on. They were just sort of oblivious, just hanging out, deadpan, dead-eyed look on their face. Then you got this guy right here who's humping the air for some reason. And of course, as I'm trying to look at all this, what do I hear? Luna over there shouting, hurry, let's go, come on, this way, hurry, this way, let's go, come on, where are you going? This way. Can we stop doing that, okay? We know we're supposed to follow that character. If we're not following that character, it's because we don't want to. It's because we don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to follow her, okay? I don't want to. All right, this is the best part of the game so far. Luna falls to her death, and all I can think is, thank God she's gone. Oh, but my relief is so short-lived because guess what? She's immediately replaced with another strong, independent, competent, quick-witted, powerful black woman named Kirkin. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't care. She's not interesting in any way. She's obviously just there to tick off some of the boxes. She leads you through this very involved process by which you get some of your skills little by little. You absorb this power. This is how you use the blue magic. This is how you use the green magic. This is how you use the red magic. This is how you use the shield. This is how you break enemy shields. You know what? That part is fine. It's not that bad. It's an obvious tutorial, but it's not as bad as the walk and talk tutorials, which it essentially is. But in this case, you get to shoot a lot of bad guys. So you actually feel for once like you're playing a game and not being strung along. But after all of this, there's a big long cutscene that you can't skip. And then they roll a credit sequence, like credits, like intro credits to the game, and this rolls and there's no way to skip it. So I literally just get up from my computer and I walk off to do something else because that nonsense. I don't need that negativity in my life. I got better things to do than sit here and watch in your self-masturbatory revelation of who worked on the game. Honestly, I don't care to see this intro sequence. I know you put a lot of effort into it. You think it's really cool. It's not. Why do you think the intro to my videos doesn't come at the very beginning, but comes a little ways in, and it lasts about 5 to 6 seconds? Because people don't like intros. If my intro were 2.5 minutes long, would you guys watch it? Let's be honest. You'd be clicking, skipping forward, tapping your phone, skipping forward, tapping, not clicking with the mouse. You skip that garbage. You can't skip it here. And unfortunately, this leads to another long and boring walk and talk. And at this point, I give up. I am so tired of walk and talks in games. I hate them with a passion. I hate them almost as much as I hate unskippable cutscenes. I was done with this game at that point, and I feel like I've had enough of it. And that was just the demo. The demo is supposed to try to get you to want to buy the game. I found it a real slog to just try to get through the demo at all. This game allegedly cost Electronic Arts $125 million. And it's a mediocre slog. It is so painfully mediocre. It strongly earns that 6.5 out of 10. At best, 6.5 out of 10. The thing is, it would almost be better if this game was just bad, because at least then streamers could make fun of it. It's like just good enough to not be absolutely terrible, so you can't make fun of it as a terrible bad game, but it's not good enough to be a game that's good enough to play, if that makes any sense. So it falls in this awkward space between sucky game that you want to make fun of and good game that you want to play. It just falls in that awkward, unlikable, worthless middle of those games that just get passed over because there's, well, at least for me, really nothing here. There are so many better games to play. Why would I waste my time playing that one? And I want to say this, $125 million? Now I know that includes advertising costs, but still, they could have made a game like this without all the stupid cutscenes, without all the added crap to it, for about $15 million, and it would have been a better experience. I like that it doesn't have microtransactions. I like that it's a single-player experience without any unnecessary tacked-on multiplayer. I like that it's a shorter playtime. But you know what I don't like? I don't like all the DEI ESG nonsense in it, and I don't like the fact that it's just another mediocre title that falls between the cracks. Well, gentlemen, and the two ladies that watch me on YouTube, I gotta tell you this. Hard pass from me on this one. Hard pass. But hey, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you that watches. I notice as the numbers tick up on my views because I am still a small-time YouTuber. So if you hit that like button, I notice it and I appreciate it. I just said hit the like button. I meant caress or tap the like button. Tap the subscribe, tap the notification bell icon, leave a comment below. It is so helpful for the algorithm when you leave a comment and hit the like button. You have no idea how helpful that is. That is almost as helpful as joining the channel. That's right, if you join, you can become a real gamer. And what do real gamers get? Well, you get these cool looking emojis. You get icons next to your username. You get exclusive member shoutouts like Drunken Dwarf, who is now a super real gamer. Thank you so much, Drunken Dwarf. You're awesome. And if you too want to be a real gamer, well, it only costs $1.99 and you can become a super real gamer for $3.99. Get all those other benefits plus exclusive early access to my videos as well as occasional members only videos as I'm able. Just tap that join button next to subscribe. There's a link in the description. You can go to my Patreon. There's a link in the description down there. And if you just want to make a one-time donation, you can buy me a coffee. There's an option down there as well. And as always, for Fox's sake, my friends, stay fresh, cheese bags. Don't forget to grab your copy of New Tokyo, available on Amazon in Kindle, Kindle Unlimited, and paperback formats.
Have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, here I am, the customer.
that's not our policy.